Hey there, role players, gamers, geeks, freaks, and everyone in between. Deacon Blues here. We are back again with the Emerald Legion, and really excited to be back. And of course, I apologize for the 2-week hiatus, but because of everybody's situation, some people have school, some people have work, some people have medical appointments. You know, we're doing the best we can with what we've got, and here we are. So, with that in mind, we're going to continue where we left off with our group of goblins and their orc leader heading eastward through the jungles known as the Jade Forest and heading towards the Lower Ridge Logging Company. And for some reason, my video is delaying on my end, but, well, that is what it is. So, hopefully I can fix that for next episode, but either way, I'm here, I'm live, and you can hear me. If there's ever a problem in chat, please let me know. If you can't hear somebody, we will do our best to correct that as soon as we can. All right. Yeah. So you guys were heading through the thing. You'd left the camp with the tiger and that woman and the little combat with the blights. You managed to survive that, and you know, killed a bunch of tigers as you moved beyond that, which was pretty incredible. Yeah, you guys did really well, and you're continuing east. So. Who's in the lead? And we know the cart's about midway back with your two traveling companions.
Zakk will opt to go in the front.
Okay.
Further back, you know, especially with it going on.
All right, so you're a little bit further back, Moxx.
Yeah, I'm also in the back with my goat.
Yeah, we're riding our goats together.
Okay.
Just chilling.
Chilling out, right? Riding the goat. Here you go. We're having fun. It's all good. So yes, we do have two of our goblins riding goats out there, and as we move forward, you guys can all make me a survival check, please.
Survival, you say?
Yes.
Ned's just hanging out on the back of the cart, like feet dangling off the edge, swinging back and forth.
Nat 20.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Oops. 7.
9.
9. Oh my goodness, 9. There we go. So nat 20. You guys, as you're moving along the path, you're at about the 11-day mark on your travels, and you're probably just had broken camp, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ahead. And what it is, of course, you notice that the road splits here and starts kind of going. You can continue east, or it does split off and starts heading to a northeast direction. And from what you've been told, that should be the road that goes to the lower ridge.
Which, the eastern or the northeastern?
If you go northeast.
Okay. Can we see any tracks on the eastern path? Like anything weird that wouldn't fit?
Make me a investigation.
We'll do that. 17.
Yeah, there is there's the normal tracks that you would expect to see on. It's pretty much the only road that goes, you know, in this direction through the wood or through the jungle. You do notice some animal tracks. You do notice some tiger prints heading the direction in which you came from, which may have been the tigers that you encountered a couple days ago. You notice there is kind of like there's wagon ruts in the muck. But you do notice there's a spot where it seems like some wagons have stopped right at this crossroads, and people have circled the wagon a little bit, and then the wagon looks like it's been diverted to turn around and start heading northeast.
Okay.
So you guys.
I'm waiting for a captain. Like, I'm not making
Yeah, I
any
was kinda-
decision here.
Shulza, what do we do? What do we do here?
We're supposed to go the right ways. We just go the right ways, right?
I mean, she would tell us head for the
Northeast.
yeah.
Okay.
Just go northeast.
All right, so you guys start heading northeast, and you travel pretty much the rest of the day. It's muggy. It's not sunny out by any. Well, it's kind of hard to tell most of the time. But when you do see space between the trees, the sun is not shining above, but it's not really overcast either. It's just kind of got that heat haze going on. It's just kind of just. It looks overcast all the time right now. And it's muggy. It's probably about the equivalent, 35, 36 degrees Celsius right now. Like, it's on the hotter side of things. Yeah, it's muggy. You guys are dripping sweat. It's not comfortable, to say the least. So you're still in the lead, Zakk, as you go forward?
Yep.
I'm going to take these glasses off because I cannot even read my own notes. That's pretty bad. So,
Boom.
as you guys are heading northeast, you start to notice that on the eastern side of this roadway, there's stumps starting to appear in the ground where you can see, obviously you're on the right track. It looks like trees have been cut down. After a while, you do see several piles of logs here and there. You start to see more and more signs of clear-cutting trees moving forward. You do see on the other side, the more northwestern side of the road, that the landscape kind of is continuing on jungle, but you do notice that not far in the distance, the elevation starts to rise from where you are in the distance. So, you mean the road that you're on is not going up, it's not on an incline, it's just kind of staying at the same level, but you do notice that the ground off to the north, more the northern side of the road, is starting to rise up from the level that you're currently at. Doesn't take long. You're maybe 3 hours down the road, and you do notice that there is a walled encampment ahead. There's an open gate that looks like it's a pass-through of some kind. You do see some wagons beyond. You see a bunch of tents outside set up with small gathering of individuals around the tents. You guys can actually switch to you can have a look at the map if you like. I will bring it up on the screen so our chat can see it. Anybody that's out in the chat land. Yeah, I don't think we got anybody in the stream watching yet, or at least no one has piped up and said anything yet. But
okay,
we'll get back into the swing of things. We'll build our following back up again. I find that Twitch streams, if you miss a couple weeks, you miss some people now and again, and they'll come back once they realize we're here. It's all good. We're doing this for fun anyhow. So, but yeah, so that is what you guys do notice. As you are approaching. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on where you would be. I think that would about sum it up there. And we've got... Now I got to put my glasses back on. My goodness. I better invest in some bifocals or something. I'm getting old.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Oh, trust me, I'm already there.
All right, I'm looking for your guys' tokens at this point, so I know you're here. Oh. There you are.
Must suck getting old, eh, guys?
What's that?
Must suck getting old, eh, guys?
It's not so bad. It has its perks.
Who's behind Zakk?
You'll get there one day, my friend. Trust me.
Oh, I think I'm already getting up there myself.
When your knees start to... When it gets a little bit tougher to stand up every day.
Yep.
Why can't I do this anymore?
Hey, don't worry. I'm going to move you guys around in a little bit in a second. I'm just looking for this little thing here.
Okay, I'm basically going to shout back to Shulza. There's a town, village, a fortification.
Yay! So maybe they have a way for us to get cool. I'm sweating all over.
Man.
Nasty. I can't even use my books because I'm afraid I'll get them all wet.
I bet you there's not even like a shop here. God.
Yeah, well, when you guys were told, you're pretty much expecting you're expecting a logging camp. The fact that you see walls ahead, a palisade walls, and you do notice that there is a tower, a stone tower off to the one side. Just to it's more of a fort now than just a tent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot more than what you normally have for like a camp.
Now, off to the right-hand side there, you'll notice over here, it drops. There's this is like a ridge that goes around, and it drops down to like a log. Looks like it's been clear cut down below, a lot of tree stumps and that, but it's almost like a ravine that has been cleared of its trees.
How far down is the drop? Is it like 5-10 feet or?
Oh no, it's probably closer in. Well, it's not hugely steep, but you're probably still looking at about 25-30 feet down.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay, cool.
But just as a, you know what I mean, it starts as an embankment and then kind of gradually comes down.
Yeah, just to get a sense.
So.
Okay, Zakk's gonna default to Shulza. So, what do we do? Do we just approach?
They expect us, right? Like they know somebody's bringing.
You think they do, yeah. You think they've been told, or they should have been told that someone's bringing something for them, but whether or not they all know. But
do we know the name of the leader of this?
You guys don't know.
No, we don't. Okay.
Okay, if that's the case, Zakk's gonna just start approaching the gate.
Well, wait. I would turn to the two acolytes and be like, they're expecting you. Do they know we're coming with you? Because she's kind of iffy, like an orc and a bunch of goblins are going to be running towards them.
The kobold actually says, well, they have been told that we're bringing our cargo, and they've been told that there would be, well, the Viridian Order, there should be someone here from the Viridian Order as well. He should be here by now anyway. They were supposed to meet us here. That would be a gentleman by the name of Nils Cobb, is who, arranged for this in the first place.
Okay, Zakk just approaches towards the gate then.
Shulza would also
getting away again.
She would stop at the gate and be like, "We have come in search of Nils Cobb. We have what they expected," and she'll make an announcement before they try to go through the gate.
We got their cargo.
Okay, well, just to give you a little bit more here, and again, I apologize for having to read this, but I'm going to have to start writing larger, I think. My problem, I'm writing so tiny and I can't even read it. So you do notice that the jungle off to the one side, to the left side, because you did notice that the drop below on the right. On the left, you see some logging that's been done, but the jungle's pretty thick beyond that. And it starts to climb up. You can now see that elevation climbing up pretty heavily from here. There's several trails of smoke from inside the palisade walls. The walls themselves are about 30 feet tall. And they're made out of logs. The stone tower goes about another 20 feet above the walls. So it's about a 50-foot tower. And you do see, as you're moving, like, you can kind of see in through the gates, there is some it does start to have a gradual incline to go up. And you do see, some people milling about here and there on the inside as well. So as you've come up to the gates and you've said this, there is an individual. Yep, you want to say something?
Yeah. Just before we, kind of interact with everyone, as I'm kind of looking around, does it look like they've tried to clear away the trees on the one side and then stopped, or is it just like where they've gotten to? It looks like the one side is very, very clear, but the other side is obviously not. So does it appear to me that they've tried to clear the one side and then for some reason stopped.
What you're seeing from this vantage point anyway is, as I said, you do see that off on the left there is a rise in elevation, and this seems to be like a lower plateaued ridge, hence maybe the lower ridge logging company, and then below it doesn't seem like they're really interested in logging going up that incline at all. They're more focused on the lower parts of it, and then and anything on the same level as that you're on right now. So that seems to be where they're focusing on. And it doesn't look like they're. I mean, there's areas that are stripped clean, but you do see they have left new growth trees. They haven't, touched any of that stuff. They do seem to be responsibly logging as much as you could say that was done, in this kind of environment. Yeah, really. Yeah, but it does look like they are taking those precautions. So the individual that approaches from the one side over where their tents are, comes out from behind one of the tents, is something that I'm trying to think who might have seen him. Actually, Bang, you can make me a history check.
I have one question.
Yes.
Is the right part steep incline? Can I slid on it?
Over to the right? Well, keep in mind, it's probably about 60 feet from the road that you're on before it starts to drop. But yeah, you could slide down it. I mean, it's look pretty. Some of it looks pretty rocky and covered with trees and debris and whatnot. But yeah, it's not steep. Like, it's not so steep that you're gonna fall and hurt yourself.
So I will do that. I don't care what's happening.
Hi, I'm Moxx. Welcome to Jackass.
All right, so you guys definitely notice. Well, Bang, you do. Moxx wanders over to that incline and starts sliding down the hill.
And there she goes. Shulza, she just slid down the edge, just so you know.
And the other person, by the way, they can make a history. Shulza can also make a history check, by the way. So there was two of you. There was Shulza and you got a 9. Okay, so you don't recall ever seeing someone like this before.
A 15.
A 15? You have seen one of these before. You do know that you have heard a term used for them before, although it's not accurate. You know that to be for a fact. Some people from certain lands call these drow, but they're not. They are an elf, and pure white hair, long flowing white hair, ebon black skin, violet colored eyes, and you do know for 15 that the individuals that would call them a drow would be that's what they call them from where they're originally from. But you do know that what they're referring to is an elf from the Underdark areas, and those elves that you know of with a 15 are almost like albinos, pale white skin, white hair, whitish eyes. So this is not one of them. This is just a really rare dark-skinned elf. So, and this individual approaches you and stop. What business do you have here?
We're here to drop off the cargo.
Is this a guy or a girl?
Well, make me a perception check.
I was just gonna ask the same thing.
Yeah, I should. Do you mind if I
anybody who's engaging with this individual up close could make a perception check.
Roll a 6.
6.
Let's see.
I rolled a nat 1. I have no clue.
A 9. Wow, we're rolling fire tonight, guys.
Okay, so that was a 9.
Right.
Shulza, what'd you roll?
A 6 also.
6 now. Zakk?
I rolled a 6. I don't know
okay.
what.
Yeah, you guys don't have a clue if
I
it's
get a
male
plus
or
2,
female.
though.
Even with it, yeah, no, you needed a 10 to determine its gender.
I rolled a
Figure it
9.
out.
At 9, you think it might be a girl?
Guys, it's totally a chick. Trust me.
You just
Cow.
Talk to
I
it.
don't know what to
Use any pronouns.
What? I'm sorry.
Zakk already said what we were gonna do, but she's kind of like watching Moxie and kind of like
Keeping an eye on Moxx and what she's up to.
I'm gonna wave.
Yeah.
you're all just like, we're just gonna drop off the cargo. We're just gonna go on in now.
Wait.
Shulza would be like, we have brought 2 accolades of the spore. They have something to deliver to you. I don't know if they can actually see.
And you're
her.
really pretty. I've never seen someone like you before.
Sorry.
You're really pretty.
And Zakk just goes, so if you don't mind, we're just gonna go on our business and head on in now.
Just wanted to make sure that people in the chat, anybody who's watching in the chat, can see where we are. There we go. Okay. All right. So the acolytes start moving a little bit forward. The dark-skinned elf moves between you, and he kind of looks back as notices Zakk moving forward. I said stop.
Shulza would grab Zakk by like his collar or his shirt and just pull him back.
Come back here.
So the dark-skinned elf moves over and starts to converse with the two in a fairly, not being intently secretive, but just a quieter tone, so that if you're not, trying to listen and overhear it, you're not going to hear what they're talking about. You also
they're speaking a language that I can pick up.
They are speaking common. Again,
I'm going to roll perception.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any way I could maybe sidle over very stealthily and try to hear what it is that they're talking about?
Yes, you can.
That's I rolled a 13 in total.
What do you need? Just a
The thing
perception
is,
check?
technically, I'm really nosy.
Yeah, perception check.
So I'll let you do it.
Ooh, very nice. 21.
Oh, you hear everything in detail. With a 13, you do pick out most of it. It's the DC is 12 to overhear. It's nothing really secretive. You do hear them talking about the fact that this is a Viridian heart. It is here to be planted.
How does the drow or the elf react to that?
You do notice when they say Viridian heart, you notice, as Zakk, you don't notice the reaction. But you, with the over 20, you definitely notice that the eyes go a little bit wide, a little bit shocked as to what they say the cargo is. And with that, the elf moves over to the cart and at that point inspects the cargo a little bit before anything's done. Moving.
I'm going to keep a very close eye on him as he's doing this.
Yep. So you guys are watching what's going on. Shulza, you're kind of holding Zakk from rushing ahead. Moxx, you do notice as you're waving up that 2 of the individuals that were in the campsite have kind of come over and sorry, they're looking down at you and just kind of curious, watching what's going on. So what are you doing when you're down at the bottom of this embankment?
Come, it's fun! Slide with me! I'm gonna try for them to come.
So you're trying to roll a persuasion check, actually.
Oh yeah.
Does it look fun?
I used to
probably
heard that and is just shaking her head like as she's holding Zakk.
Don't go away. Zakk's like that Flintstones walk, kind of his feet are moving, but she's holding on.
18.
Sorry, at 18?
Zakk,
Yes.
Nice.
Zack's decided he's going to stop trying to go head on in. He's instead decided to turn around, and he's going to head towards the person checking the car, and he's just going to walk up to the person as stealthy as possible and go,
Okay, Zakk, hold on, because we're still dealing with Moxx.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so what you see is the one individual walks away. This individual, she slides down the hill.
Yes! My girl!
And she joins you at the bottom. And what has joined you is a halfling. She looks at you and she says, "Hi, I'm Beth."
Hey, Beth. You must smell good. I don't take baths often.
No, not Bath. Beth, as in Elizabeth.
It's the same thing. Stop it, Beth.
Well, and then you kind of, being a halfling, she kind of, I guess I don't smell too bad.
Yeah, you do smell good.
Well, thank you.
I'm Moxx. Nice to meet you, Beth.
She extends a hand in greetings to say, you know. All right, so you guys are having a conversation, at which point she points out a few, I cut down that tree, with some friends about 2 weeks ago. It gave us a little bit of trouble. It's got a big roots. You get just kind of, she's clearly a logger. As a halfling, she's got some guns on her. So I'm just letting you know. So you guys are having a conversation at the bottom of the hill, and you guys, most of you will notice this. Shulza, you're kind of keeping an eye on everything, so you notice this halfling goes down the hill with Moxx. Zakk has turned away from the gate and is heading towards the wagon.
As stealthy as possible, I'm going to try to sneak up behind the person.
Oh, you're going to try and go this way. Trying to be stealthy. Roll a stealth check.
I just did. 18 plus 5.
Oh, nice.
Question, because she's holding on to him, does that make it harder for him to stealth away?
I let go of him.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, okay.
When he kind of gave up.
My plan is basically to stealth up behind this person and just randomly say out loud, "Is there a problem there?"
You get, considering I rolled a 17 plus 6, so it's the same roll. So you do win. You do surprise them. You get a little bit of a jump out of them, but not enough to get that reaction that you were hoping for. But you still get a little bit of a jump as this elf turns and looks at you. And are you in charge?
No,
that shows over there.
Smart move.
I'll walk over.
I gave up leadership responsibilities. Too many mutinies in this group.
had them.
Nedd looks over and goes, "Yeah, he was never the leader."
Yeah, because I'm like standing right next to him, like
Yeah,
he never had them.
Shulza knows. She knows about the mutinies.
This is pretty much what the elf is doing. Is as you guys are talking, it's kind of going one to the other, and kind of. You guys can make me an insight check if you're engaging with the elf.
Yes.
Can I hear them from the bottom and yell,
Oh, nice.
"Yeah, he was never the leader"?
You can make your perception check from the bottom of the hill. Yeah.
Dirty 14.
That is a 14.
Okay. So you're not familiar, Zakk, but you, if you roll 15 or above, you realize that this elf seems to be familiar with dealing with goblinoids in general. Even though, like, has a little bit of a look of irritation, but nothing that you guys haven't seen before, honestly.
Just watch out for this one over here. He's your typical goblin. The rest of us are kind of trying to break the mold, if you will.
Hey, I'm trying to do that too.
Well, I know, but it's a little bit harder for you, you know. I mean, you got a whole... It's a complicated issue that we shouldn't get into now, Zakk. We'll talk about it later.
Oh yeah, and you get sent to a jail cell. It's so much better, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about my colleagues. I didn't choose them.
No.
They're not the smart ones.
Although, I mean, I've been kind of enjoying our little family that we got going on here.
It's a good dynamic going on, I think.
Handle you, Nedd. Zakk, like to burn in his sleep sometime.
He
Well,
goes,
I don't blame you.
I still think you were trying to backstab me and what
Everybody
against
has
me.
that instinct as soon as you meet Zakk. You're like, oh my god, I want to
Walk
burn this.
over and introduce herself to the elf. I'm the leader of this group. My name is Shulza. And just, during this, she's just shaking her head the whole time.
She does her best to try to control us. Hey,
Okay.
it's a losing battle.
And yes, sorry, Rob. I just noticed you're in there, and yes, Shulza did let him go.
No, that was my mistake. Sorry. I should have.
Well, if you guys want to make your way in, you should find Nils. Nils will either be probably at the tower, or will be at the canteen.
Okay.
Is the elf taking the plant?
No,
Or is he just inspecting it?
he just inspected it,
Okay, cool.
just to make sure it is what
I'm
was
just
claimed.
knowing what
Wait,
it is.
I thought that was a she.
Well, whatever.
It.
We don't know what it is.
Okay.
The elf.
The elf. It's an elf.
Nobody's perception was that good.
Yeah, exactly. The elf in question.
So
Okay, cool.
you guys can go in.
Okay. Zack's starting to head on in.
I was waiting for that.
Here she is in the lead.
Oh yeah, of course, sorry.
Is anyone telling me that you're all going in?
Oh
I
no.
have no clue.
No.
Actually, May was kind of keeping an eye out, like between
Okay.
the two groups, because she likes to watch Max because Moxx has a lot of fun and she likes to join the fun a lot of times. So she was kind of, looking between the two. So when they start leaving, she'll kind of run over to where Moxx is like, hey, we're going back in.
Okay, I'm
Wait.
coming. I'm gonna try to climb up. I don't think it's gonna work.
Oh
well
yeah,
for me.
it's not too difficult.
Okay.
Actually, make me an athletics check.
I was
Wait for
expecting
me. I have little legs. Athletics. I have a -2, so I have a 9.
All right, you get up. It only takes a 5. It's not very graceful, but you do.
Covered in mud.
You get up. Yeah, you're filthy. Definitely filthy. I mean, because it wasn't dry muck. It's muck. So
It's okay. She
That's
was
what-
already filthy, so.
that's what made it fun. You're sliding through the mud. So you guys move in. And by the way, Shulza, as you were walking past the elf does extend a hand, because you introduce yourself, doesn't extend a hand to you, and introduces herself as the Shield. The Shield Valance.
And Shulza would have took her hand and said, "Good day, the shield. Very nice to meet you."
You a firm handshake, not overly strong, but firm. And at that, you guys work your way inside, and we'll get these guys moving in and moving
We were told he would either be at the tower or
the tower or the canteen, wherever that might be.
Zack goes, I'll go look for the canteen.
Stay.
I
Just
say
take
stay.
May and point at you. Stay with the group, please.
Okay.
Okay.
And Bang and Moxx, you guys can move up to where you want to move up to. I'm just going to kind of go over this. So once inside, you guys notice, as I said, there's this little spot in between. It seems like there's piles of lumber, like logs here. There's equipment that's kind of here. There's stuff that's been hung out. You do see lines, almost like clotheslines that have been set up over here, with just muddy and wet cloaks and capes and stuff like that. You see bits of rope that have been laid out to dry, even though it doesn't seem like it's drying. It's not raining. There's no sun to shine down on it. But there is sun out there. I mean, you can kind of see it up through the haze above, because you can actually see the sky. A lot of it at this point are right above this little encampment. So
It's still kind of muggy and stuff, right?
yeah, very muggy, humid type of environment. And I'm just going to put these guys back where they are, and let's go making sure that everybody in chat can see where we are. Okay, so you are inside, and let's see. Let's go with. Actually, we're going to go in my order of my screen. So, Bang, what are you doing at this point?
I mean, besides, I'm kind of just looking around. Of course, like I did the one time we went to a port. She kind of inspects the walls to see how wet they are. You know, again, I like to know how flammable things are.
Okay, so you're just kind of doing a general inspection of your surroundings.
Yeah. See what things are flammable, because that's just something she likes to look at.
Okay.
She likes to know what things are flammable.
You do notice that, I mean, everything seems to have a moisture in it just because of the sheer humidity of this environment. That even though the trees have been cut, everything though here, other than that tower, is made out of wood.
Yeah.
Everything here. And as I said, it looks like at one point it was an encampment that has, it's kind of almost like a starting village almost at this point, is what it looks like it's kind of expanding to. You do know... Go ahead.
Would it be fair for me to kind of point that out? Like, I thought we were going to a camp. This looks like a village. Like, would it make sense for her to draw that conclusion?
Yeah, you could point that out.
Yeah. I'd like to kind of just point that out to the individuals around me, you know, if there happens to be someone that's part of the encampment that hears us and stuff, you know, she'll kind of pointedly make sure they can hear it if they're near me. Like there's that one guy that's kind of near the wall where I'm at, you know, like isn't this supposed to be a camp, not a village?
So this individual who's on their way up, this individual is on their way down into... Well, just to kind of let you know, that looks like the gates that you're walking through can be barred from the inside if they have to. There are a few platforms that have been set up around the walls, such as over here. Where's my pointer? Over here and so on, where people can go up for watch. What's that?
It looks like to me they're trying to protect themselves from something. Do I see any, like, footprints or anything that'd be like they're trying to defend themselves?
Yeah,
or
like,
is it just because it's
guarded at all, or
well, both of the gates you like, the first gate you walk in didn't even have a gate on it. It was just an open area that just kind of went into almost like a courtyard, which is storing lumber. Right. And then once you walk into this second gate, it does have a method of closing it, but it's open. They all have weapons, but they're not... You've seen weapons that have been readied for combat situations in villages and so on. This doesn't look like it.
Yeah, this is just like day-to-day stuff in case some random thing happens.
Looks like... well, in a modern day, in our perspective, think of it as what would happen with the gold rush after after someone in the camp struck gold and it started to build up a little bit. People would build out buildings and so on. So it looks like it's at that stage, and the tower itself looks almost brand new. So you are noticing that. There are 6 wooden structures inside the building along with the tower. There are 5 tents off to the one side. You see a large fire pit to the left. Beyond that is it's kind of it's a multi-story house off to the left of sorts. Beyond that, as you go past where you see the little blonde gnome standing, that looks to be some kind of a church with a bell tower. Beside that, you see a lot of smoke coming from the individual where you see the gruff-looking dwarf. Probably a smithy of some kind, is what it looks like. And it looks like there's a stable attached to that as well. And you do hear the sounds of a smithing hammer, by the way, as you're coming in. Back down to the right, it looks over where that funny-looking frog-like creature is. It looks like possibly a tavern or canteen that would be there that's been set up. A little bit more down and to the right, there's two more what looks like bunkhouses for sure. You got the tower, which is fortified, and then you've got this wide access that have gone down. It looks like some form of mine that has been opened up, and it doesn't look like it's an old mine. Like you've seen old mines before. This looks like it's a recent discovery that has been shored up with new cut wood and so on.
So a new addition to the place.
Yeah.
So does it look like they're shifting their focus from logging to mining, or are they still keeping consistent with the logging?
It seems like for the most part they look like loggers. Everything here, you do see stacks of logs. You do of different types of material, like log material, different types of trees. You do see there is barrels set up outside that mine that do look like they have like stones in them of different types and dirt. That's there. You do see wheelbarrows that are down in the thing. So maybe they're doing a little bit of both. You know, you're not quite sure from what you see, but you did make that statement. And as this individual is coming up, she looks over and she says, "Well, this is the Lower Ridge Mining Company, or logging company. Sorry, logging company. Welcome."
So you must be doing really good if you're expanding so much, right?
It's been busy. We're not as established as the Upper Ridge Logging Company. And she points in the direction of the northwest, where that where the rise and the elevation was. They're up there, and yeah, they're quite established.
What exactly are you mining out of this mine?
Well, someone found something that was of interest, and now we've just been kind of opening up some tunnels that we found down below.
What find?
I really shouldn't say. And she begins to kind of walk away.
Interesting. That's what I thought. Somebody found something worth.
Yeah, Zakk.
Being here.
Look over and go to Nedd. You think they might be worth stealing?
You know what? I was actually thinking that myself. I like where your head is at with this, Zakk. Let's keep this in mind and just let's see what opportunities arise. Let's not make any plans yet, but you never know.
Okay, so
small enough to be fitted in a bag, and then who knows, you know.
So Bang was doing the kind of overall observation and interacting with an individual. Nedd, what are you doing as you're walking into this? And you do see Bang interacting. You hear that interaction. You know, what are you specifically doing?
I'm gonna wait for the okay from Shulza, but I'm looking towards the canteen because I want to have a drink. That's Nedd drinks. So
okay. So that's
but
what you're
again,
looking
like
at.
I'm waiting for the okay from Shulza. I'm not just taking off like somebody.
Okay, Shulza, what are you doing at this point?
I think she would head towards the tower because they said that Nils might be at the tower.
Okay, you can get right up to the outside of the tower. You do when you're at the tower. Make me a perception check because this individual's not actually there yet. You don't see him. So
okay.
Sorry, my bad.
No.
Am I allowed to follow Shulza while she's moving off?
Well, that's your movement for your action, but yes, you can.
12.
Okay. With a 12, you do hear multiple. There is a closed wooden door. It doesn't look there's no locking mechanism on it. It's just got one of those big iron handles, like iron rings on it that you can push open and pull close. But you do hear multiple voices inside speaking.
We would probably just take the door handle and just knock.
Knock on it? Okay. So you knock on the handle, and a moment later, the door does swing open. And standing there in the door is an individual who, clearly a dwarf by looks. However, his skin is reddish gray in color, and he's got jet black hair and green eyes, and he's got a great big huge battle axe on his back, and he's standing there, and he answers the door. Can I help you?
Good day, sir. I was told Nils Cobb might be here at the tower. Is he here?
He kind of looks at you, and he looks kind of beyond and sees Zakk, and looks out a little bit more towards the gate, notices people there. Are you from the Underhill Inn?
Yes.
You're part of the Emerald Legion, then?
Yes.
Well, then the person you're looking for, and he points over your shoulder behind you in this direction right here. That's the person you want to see right there.
Shulza would give a little bow and thank him for his time. And
Zakk just goes, see, I could have saved us a lot of time by going there by first.
Okay, so that's your movement, and I'm assuming you'll be heading in that direction next. Zakk, while you're stopped at the tower, Zakk, you have no more movement left, but is there any action you want to take while you're at the tower? As this dwarf peeks his head out.
Is the guy close enough for us to call him over?
He's about 60 feet.
Okay. I'm just going to try...
Or maybe 40 feet. Yeah.
I'm going to try this then. I'm going to try calling out to the guy. Hey! Nils, right? Come here, we need you!
Excuse me, Mr. King, do you mind coming to us?
Yeah. He does look over at you, but he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary other than look over at you at this point. Moxx, what are you doing?
Okay, so I will start my turn by doing a mug angel.
A mud angel?
Okay.
Yeah. Like a snow angel, but in the mug.
Nice.
All right. Are you doing it inside the second gate, or are you doing it in that little courtyard area?
I'm gonna do it inside the second gate.
Okay.
Like right here.
All right. So,
Nice.
Bang and Nedd, you guys notice this right off the bat. Shulza and Zakk, you guys can make me... Actually, Zakk, you're engaged in Nils. So, Shulza, you can make me a perception check.
19.
Oh, you notice, as to the corner of your eyes, you're looking towards Nils, and you kind of glance at Zakk at the same time because he speaks out and calls over to that figure across the way. You kind of see the corner of your eye that Moxx is now on the ground, on her back, making a mud angel of sorts.
I like it. It's very pretty shape.
When it's time for you to get up, I help you get up so it doesn't get messed up.
Yes. And also, it's really good for your skin.
Really?
Right for the pigs.
Later, after we get all settled, maybe I'll do that with you, okay?
Okay, now help me get up.
Ned's gonna lay down and join her, and then start making.
My boy.
So
with this
with the 19 Shulza, you now notice that Nedd is now joining her. You do have, there are individuals, other than what you see here, there are individuals coming and going here and there. And they are watching you curiously.
I'm going to look over them and go, it's good for your skin.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Shulza. At least I'm on the proper track to finishing the job.
That's weird.
What was that?
Do the switches.
Zakk's being the less weird one. That's weird.
Yeah, right. What's going on? I'm scared.
So the cart has come in at this point and kind of gone off to the side where all these tents are, off to the one side. And there are people milling about. There's a lot of whispers going on as they see the cart come in and these two acolytes bringing it. There's a lot of quiet chatter that seems to be going on. And then at that point, Moxx, you've done yours. We're going to go back. And Bang, what are you doing?
Oh, after helping her up with the angel and stuff, again, I'm just trying to keep an eye out on all the people that were in our group, including the acolyte and stuff like that, making sure everything gets where it belongs. And again, she's just trying to keep everything in
view,
perspective with what's going on,
okay,
and in view and stuff. So that way, if anyone needs help, or Zakk runs off, or Moxx is having fun, he wants to be involved.
So you've got everybody 6 right now. That's what's going on. You got everybody 6, and you're just keeping tabs. Nedd, you're making snow angels or mud angels still.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get up at one point, and then
I can help
myself off and wipe some of the mud off and start heading over towards the canteen.
Okay. Are you going around the long way around the mine?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. The way that I'm heading right now, and then like up towards this froggy type guy, but I'll stay right here for now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's you actually see him, and you can make me. Yeah, you were strictly from the mountain area. So again, yeah, you have no idea what this is. But you see what looks like a humanoid frog sitting on a rocking chair outside this building. Just kind of sitting there quietly, rocking as you're approaching. You can pretty much, yeah, you're about 15 feet from him at this point. And there's other people milling about, but he's just sitting there quietly.
Yeah, you doing, Mr. Toad? You know a place where a man, well, not a man, because stupid humans. Do you know a place where a good goblin could get a drink? Parched.
Well, you can come here and have a drink. But I'm not a toad. My name is Even.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Even? Even?
Even. Like, not odd, but even, you know.
Oh, that's good. That's easy to remember. Even.
Well, I think that's what my mom was thinking when I was just a wee one.
Did you have, like, a lot of brothers and sisters, like a lot of names, you know?
No, actually, there was only 3 of us.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm the youngest, though.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Even.
Yeah, well, you know, welcome. This is my canteen, my establishment. Right now, it's not very busy inside. We've got a couple people in there having a drink, and some people having a lunch. But you know, I'm just sitting out here relaxing, and it gets busy later on when everybody's done their day's work and their chores. They come by. But yeah, you know, come on in and have a seat, and I'll pour you up a drink.
Hey, Even, I hear this crazy rumor that they're mining something really weird.
Oh, yeah, down. You mean down there? Yeah. Well, they found something. Nils and Bartle. They found it first, and so they're the ones you'd have to talk to about it. I mean,
you're a bar owner. You probably hear lots of.
I hear all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, what do
Well, it's
people
not.
say?
It's not gold. We know that. It's nothing. No precious gems or anything. Nothing like that. Like it's. I don't know what it is exactly. I do know that Tanani went down there as well with them. They went and got her from the church, and they took her down to look at some stuff. But I mean, again, I don't go down there. I mean, this is. I'm not even. I stopped here like about 2 years ago to well, just on my pass through the area, and you know, figured I'd like it, and they offered me a spot.
Hey, you know, it's a beautiful spot. It's growing into quite the little village here. Hey, just one more question.
Sure.
Would you say this particular item is like a small item? You know, maybe you could like put it in a bag if you needed to. Or...
I don't think it's an item per se. I don't think it's a whole item. No, I really don't. Because they probably would have brought it out and put it in a tower if it was an item.
Yeah. That's smart, right?
But
Right.
I know they've been sending some of the stronger folks down there on occasion, and they've been bringing out like dirt and rubble. But that's about it.
You're a wealth of information, Even. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And he walks you inside that in that building, and it looks like an old tavern saloon type of thing. You know, you do see a cooktop in the back that does have you know that it's got warm coals in it, but nothing's cooking at the moment. You know, you've got a couple individuals that are sitting there. One guy's off to the side; he's eating a sandwich. You got a couple sitting at a table having some ales, and he goes over behind the bar, and you know, and he says, "Well, we only have ale right now, but I hope it'll do."
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. That's exactly what it is.
It's only a copper if you know if it's not too much for you.
Nah, I can afford that.
He gives you a tankard of ale. So you're sitting there having an ale and doing your thing, and
I'm kind of paying attention to the conversations, but not like noticeably paying attention. Just kind of listening to see if I hear anything cool.
All right. What you're I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So Shulza, you are over here. You were heading towards Nils.
Yep.
Okay, so you can walk right up to him.
Am I allowed to follow her?
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah,
she's not stopping you.
So she would go up to Nels and just ask her, "Are you Nils? I am Shulza from the Emerald. We have brought you your."
He looks at you very strangely. He's not quite sure what to make of what he's. I don't know. Make an insight check.
Can I try that too?
No, this is directed strictly at Shulza at the moment.
21.
Nice.
He's looking at you like he knows you, and he's a little bit shocked that you don't know him. He's like, Thada? Mekbag? Thada Mekbag? Is that your sister?
Yes.
She never told me it was twins. She said she had a sister, but not twins. Oh, my word. This individual, you have seen them before, being from this area, is a Lizardfolk. Yeah. he's about 7.5 feet tall, big long tail, and he's wearing like a heavy brown leather cloak that's oiled. That you can see he's got big high boots on, you know, and they're specially made for his wider feet. Definitely, and you do see the armband of the Viridian Order on him at this point. Yeah, well, wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm Nils. I'm the representative for the Viridian Order here. I'm usually in the tower, but right now they're meeting in there right now, and I really didn't want to listen to it. because, well, Bartle, he gets a little long-winded at times. So you got cargo you brought with me. What you? What is that sound?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would extend her hand and be like, any acquaintance of my sister, is a friend of mine, and just like reach out for a handshake. And yes, we brought 2 accolades with a wants to say gift for the mining community.
Oh, sorry, I was just reading. I just see what Rob posted in there. Yeah, it might not be mud. Oops.
Oh.
It's also good for your skin, Ned.
Well, yeah.
You never know. You
Can I
never
make
know.
a check to see if we're rolling in mud or?
Actually, make me perception check. Anybody who wants to.
I'm just curious. Are we
Okay.
rolling? Oh my god. An 8.
Yeah, it looks like mud for you.
All right, cool.
I rolled a 14.
Well, you're not with them, so
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
have
You
a
did it
22.
You're 20. Oh, yeah. You're covered in mud and clay. Bits of looks like old wood. And yeah, there is a slight odor to some spots. But then again, you were doing a mud angel, in basically the primary entranceway of this community. So now that you're looking around, you do see, you don't see them right here, but you do see up ahead where you assume where the smithy and the stable is. There is a couple of mules in that direction that are tied up. You do see a couple of spots where there's some piles of manure here and there about the roadway. But yeah, nothing. I mean, it's not a lot, but yeah, there was a little bit there.
No worries. It's also good for your skin.
We're goblins. What do we care?
Oh my word! I don't know what to say. Yeah, I will send someone over to meet with the acolytes and to put the package in a safe spot for now. But if you guys want, you can we can join me for a drink inside the inside the canteen. You can meet Even. Even is quite the interesting fellow.
She would just nod and to the
Okay, so you're gonna head into the canteen.
Shulza! How you doing?
And what about Zakk? Are you gonna follow?
I'm following, and I just shout out to that. Nedd! Nice to see you again!
God, you brought him. I mean, Zakk! Hey! I'm just kidding, Zakk.
All right,
Hey,
so
he's being more on the ball than you are right now.
Yeah, you're probably right.
he's you see, and actually, Shulza, you would have a chance of knowing what this is. Make me a history check.
Is it a grung?
No.
Oh, too bad.
I'm thinking Bullywug.
Oh, maybe.
What was it?
12.
12? Yeah, you know what it is. It is a bullywug.
Nice.
Aww.
A frog-like humanoid that is sentient, and it's rare to see them outside of their own little communities. They generally stick to themselves in their areas. So it is kind of unique to see one out. But you know what it is. And he serves you all up as you come in. Ales are put out, on the bar at this point. There are some tables that you can sit at. Basically, and this little bullywug kind of comes around after he dishes out the ales. And says, I'm gonna be putting on some grub in a little bit, but it's not quite the dinner times yet. So I try not to I don't want to be cooking all day. But, you know, I'll put some grub on, and then once we eat, maybe I'll play a tune or two. And
I like that.
when he says that, and you kind of look up as he even says that, make me a perception check for those in the bar. You awake there, Bang?
Yep, I'm
Okay.
here. I'm just waiting, you know. I'm trying to be, you know, quiet since I'm not in the bar, you know.
Yep.
21.
Yep. 16 for Shulza, and Zakk.
What I'm rolling?
Perception check.
That would be a 13.
Okay, so you don't really notice it, Zakk. Shulza, you notice that there seems to be some kind of instrument behind him on the wall, behind the bar. But Nedd, from where you were probably seated at the bar, you kind of glance over and you see this beautiful, beautiful loot that's just kind of sitting, you know, kind of hanging there, sitting there on a ledge type of thing. But it beautifully made, you know, loot just kind of put off to the side. So, moving around to Bang and Moxx, what are you guys up to outside? You've noticed your colleagues have gone around. Nedd went in first to the one side. He met with some frog-like creature and went into that building across from where you are. And you've seen Shulza and Zakk kind of go around the other way and do the same. Except with the Lizardfolk.
Hey, Moxx. The rest of them are going in the building. You want to come?
Sure, yeah. I just want to know where my goat is first.
Where did I put the goats? If you like, the gnome acolyte says he will take your goats to the stabling area if you like.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh.
But don't eat them, or I'll eat you.
Don't eat them.
The gnome kind of looks at you. I don't eat goat. No, I don't eat meat, but that's just me.
Okay.
Okay, good. I like that. Okay, come on, Moxx. Let's go to the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
He'll run up to get into the
All right. So you notice that the two acolytes head over towards the church area as some individuals come and help with the cart and take them and their cart over in this direction as well with the contents of the cargo there. So you guys all are now. You guys notice that Moxx and Bang walk in. Moxx is covered in even more muck than Nedd was. And yeah, there is a slight odor to her as she comes in. Not overly strong, but she obviously rolled in something that she shouldn't have. You know, coming in, and you kind of get the tavern keep, I guess you can call him. Kind of raises a brow and wrinkles his little amphibian nose a bit, and you go, yeah. Kind of smell reminds me of home, just a little bit, just a little bit. So you guys, you're served up as well. Ales are brought out, and again, you're kind of sitting in this group. You're sitting with even the bullywug is not sitting with you. He's just kind of off to the side, you know, sitting in a chair at the door this time, not outside the door, but he's sitting inside. But at table, the Lizardfolk goes over and sits down at a table, you know, and beckons you guys to join.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Just curious. You're saying that Nedd and Moxx have the smell coming
No,
off of
just
them?
Moxx.
Just Moxx?
It's because I'm special.
You're just gonna hear Zakk just bring this up and go, Moxx, you smell like shit!
Thank you.
That's not a good thing!
The Lizardfolk just kind of
nice.
Wow, you guys really are an odd bunch. I was
Welcome to the Weird Club.
I was told that a Mekbag was going to be bringing a crew, but yeah, kind of. Well, you know what? It's not easy being green, isn't that right? Even can yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind being green.
Hey, green's are good colors, man.
I know.
So, and then you get Nils looking over at Shulza thinking, wow, you really do look a lot like your sister. I shouldn't say you're not quite identical, but you look pretty darn close, I have to say. Yeah. What is it she always used to say? Oh, yeah. Green my ass.
There you go. I was trying to think of what it was. I couldn't remember. Yeah, green my ass.
Yeah, I think that's our slogan.
Yeah, well, she used to say it all the time.
We should get like tattoos that say like "green my ass" on our arms.
That'd be pretty funny. He looks at his scaled arms and we don't do well with tattoos. Just saying. So, but yeah, that would be pretty good. But I can tell you right now, you should be proud of your sister, Shulza. She's kind of moving up the ranks. From what I heard, she was actually meeting with Twig directly.
Really?
You guys know about Twig, right? You met Twig yet?
I think we have.
The green dragon.
Everything's green.
Did we see a green dragon?
You've never met a green dragon.
I think that would be cool if I could reach a green dragon.
A green dragon is running our organization?
Yeah.
Oh,
Twig.
That's amazing.
Twig is the head of the Viridian Order.
Huh.
I thought everybody in the Order knew that.
Cool.
No, I don't think we met Twig yet.
You guys must be newer recruits, then.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the rest of these people on board.
He's really looking at Zakk a lot. As Zack's like going, yeah, I would suggest don't talk so much if you do meet Twig.
Okay.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Just not to the point where you're annoying and stuff.
Oh well, yeah. I mean that's hard for Zakk, but he's learning.
I started doing on the not being annoying thing.
Well.
See, I'm about 3 times the size of you guys, and Twig would. Yeah, I would be maybe even a crumb of a snack. Not even a snack.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Twig must be big.
But smart. Very, very smart. Yes.
Out of character, with my studies and stuff, would I know, like, the sizes of dragons and stuff like that?
You've done, because you're a mage and you have traveled a little bit around the world, the known world. Yes, you are familiar with descriptions of dragons, that they are enormous. If there was one here in this encampment, it would probably take up the entire center of this. Again, depending on the age cat, like if it's an older dragon especially, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely huge.
Oh, yeah, I think Bang turns to her. Do you not know anything about the dragons? Dragons are amazing. They're huge. The older they are, the bigger they are. It could probably take up this whole area.
Can I ride a dragon?
They're really smart and
I mean,
get their permissions, and
That means yes.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, the dragon would probably let you if it was like if you. I mean,
The
yeah.
type of the dragon is the question.
So basically, if we ever meet our boss, everyone's going to ask if they can ride him, because this is the impression I'm getting right now.
Yeah,
How much does it cost to ride you, sir?
That may not be a good question.
Oh no. Well, what if we came up with like a really clever way to ask it?
You just hear
If you
Zakk.
worded it properly.
What
Maybe.
if we do a dance battle and the winner gets to ride the dragon?
That's my checklist.
I think Shulza would have to take that up the chain of command and see. I can tell you right now, I don't know if you guys have traveled a lot around the world at all. or outside?
You know, bitch.
Not really, no.
No, because I heard you guys were from way up north originally. I know Shulza, you know, your sister said you were actually from the Frostwood originally, but had come down and went to Elderlock, you know, for studies and such. So, yeah, there's quite a few dragons around the Nolan world that we know of anyway. Some of them actually rule entire kingdoms.
That's weird.
But some of them prefer to be left alone. And people generally, well, if they're smart, they respect that. But
If we're not smart.
There's.
I think we end up as lunch, Moxx.
He looks over at the bullywug at the door and he says, "Well, perhaps after dinner you can sing them a song or two about dragons." And the bullywug said, "Yeah, I could do that. That'd be okay. Yeah, that'd be all right for me.
That's ideas.
I can sing you some songs. Yeah, about dragons." That's good. So you guys are all sitting about and you're talking about different things, and I know at one point there's things that are probably crossing your mind, and you notice that Nils reaches to a pouch at his side and brings it up and puts it on the table, and it's got some heft to it and some jingle to it. I believe you guys were promised a little bit of coin in return for your tropes.
I mean, you know, you can give us as much as you want, really.
Well, no, we'll do this. I mean, there's he pushes it over and to Shulza, and in the equivalent inside the bag is about 650 gold pieces.
Wow.
Equivalent. Some of it's in platinum, which you don't see very often, but there is a few platinum coins in there. There's a couple of gemstones that are mixed in there. You'd have to, you know, sell everything off and trade it off to get that money divided up evenly. But yeah, you are given that. So where are you off to next? Are you just headed back to the Underhill?
I think that's what we're supposed to do next, right? Right, soldiers?
You guys didn't have a job per se, but you're muted, Shulza. And a free ride talk.
Sorry. Once per episode, I always have to do that.
Yeah.
She would say, "Well, we don't have any actual jobs left to do unless you have something needing to be done. I see you're logging, but you're mining now."
Well, there was a well originally where the mine is, and well, we had to do some repairs. But while we were doing repairs, we kind of seen a few stones that were odd, that didn't look like they belonged. So when we started removing stuff to repair, it opened up into some passageways and tunnels down below that we're kind of investigating and checking out. They look very old. We're not sure where exactly they're going to lead to, but that's Bartle's territory. He's in charge of that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if we found some gold or something here, but no, nothing like that. Just
do you want us to go investigate it?
As I said, that's not my jurisdiction to assign you that chore of doing such a thing, or even giving you permission to go down there.
Right,
but I do have a possible thing that you can really help out with, but it's kind of minuscule and mundane. It's helping to plant the Viridian heart. If you know.
He's very good at strength. He can do all the shoveling.
Who have we talked? I mean, that obviously sounds like a really great job, and I mean, with our bosses of OK, of course, I think we can probably help out with planting of the heart. I mean, I imagine it's something Shulza would want us to do, right? I don't mean to talk for you. I'm going to shut up now. Sorry.
She wouldn't mind that, so she would say, "Yes, I would love to see how to plant the heart."
Okay. With that, he says, "Well, we're going to be doing that tomorrow, so We do have rooms here at the canteen that you guys can do. The 5 of you can share a room, and Shulza has a room for herself. And that's we'll put you up for the night. And then tomorrow you can help us with the planting ceremony. And yeah, it should be fun.
Was that mine guarded at all? Like, was there anybody like posted watching out
No
front?
one watching out front, but you did see people coming and going.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Let's get into some shit tonight.
So you guys, after about an hour of conversing and everything else, more ale is brought out. You do see Even get up at one point and head over behind the bar over to that cooktop and stoke up the fire a little bit, and he puts a pot on. You see him go out back, and then he comes back in with some water and starts, putting water in the pot and chopping up root vegetables and stuff like that into the pot. So he's cooking for sure. And it doesn't take long to realize there's pieces of meat that he's throwing in there. You're not sure exactly what it is, but he's throwing it in the pot, and he's cooking up a storm. And after about 2 hours, you're sitting there, you're having conversations. A lot of different loggers come and go. Some you can tell have been logging. Some you can tell looks like they've been inside of a mine. They're not as mucky or whatever else. They're covered with like a stone dust or whatever, more than anything else. And yeah, for the next 3 hours, what are you guys conversing? What are you looking for in the inn? Are you going outside the establishment?
I'd particularly like to try to listen in on the miners' conversations to pick up any kind of information about what might be going on down there.
Make me a perception check.
Come on.
I would like to.
Oh, it sucks.
Kind of watch some of the conversations since I've got an observant, and I would like to ask around of like, have they seen any like ruins or things like that like odd languages, things like that, because I know one.
So you're asking, you're talking to people that are there. Nedd, you're listening. Shulza, you rolled a 6?
Yeah.
Would first be talking to Even, because she knows what he is.
Yep.
And she's just interested to know why he's alone, like here.
Why he's here? Okay. So you're talking to Even.
Are usually with other ballywogs. So she would.
Just out of curiosity, yeah, of course, of course. Zakk, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try to talk to Nell, see if I can get more information about what's in the mine.
You're talking to who? Nils?
Yeah, Nils.
Okay, so you're going to be talking to Nils. Moxx, what are you going to do for the 3 hours?
I would like to go talk to the blonde girl.
You're going to head to the church.
Yes, to Tenanye?
Tenanyan.
Tenanye.
Yeah.
Tenanye.
Yeah, that's it. It's an odd name, but hey, she's an odd person.
Like me. I like it.
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps like you, perhaps not. So you're heading to the church. All right. So, Bang, you were, Nedd, you don't hear, you're trying to be, you even move your seat a few times, trying to get it better here and listen to conversations. But every time a conversation starts, you kind of get distracted by another conversation, and you're really not picking up much of anything useful. You do observe, though, Bang has gotten up and is moving about, talking to different people. Bang, you're asking about ruins, different languages. Make me a persuasion check.
And I'm planning on doing this only for like maybe an hour or two, maybe a half hour, an hour and a half, because I would like to talk to the blacksmith if I have time.
Okay.
Only if I have time.
Yep.
And do that. Persuasion, right?
22?
That is a 13.
13. With a 13, you do find out that, yeah, there is some form of ruins down below. most of them are dead ends. That's what you hear them tell you. There is some passages though they haven't fully explored yet. That they're taking their time. They're being slow and being cautious at Bartle's request. They not rushing into anything down below. So that's what you find out, and then you head over to the blacksmith. So you've gone. Just gonna make sure I put you guys where you are. So you've gone to the church. You're now heading to the blacksmith. Okay. Shulza, you are having a conversation with Even. And yes, Even introduces himself properly. He's like, yeah, I'm Even Cooksworth. Even, that's my name. But yeah, I'm wow, you know my kind. We don't get, well, I've never met one of my own out on the road. But yeah, I'm the youngest, and I really didn't get along too well with my siblings, and my parents were they wanted me to do what they do, and that's farming, and I'm not a big farmer. I don't like farming. I really don't like the swamp too much. And there's a few swamp areas around the wood, and it's not my thing. So I figured I'd explore the wood a little bit. And the Jade Forest has been a wonderful exploration, and I've seen all kinds of things here. I seen a couple of years back I was at this inn run by a halfling fellow. I think that's where you guys probably came from, the Underhill. I never been as far south. I haven't left the wood though. I haven't left the forest. I haven't been down to Elderlock at all. I haven't been into the Frostwood either. That place scares me. I'm just telling you. It's just, it's not my thing. Maybe I'll go there one day so I can tell some stories. But yeah, that was my thing. I like to tell stories, and I like to sing songs. And my dad thought that was stupid. Well, my mom would hit me every once in a while because I would play my lute and not do farming chores. So yeah.
She's just listening to him and like, that's fascinating. To follow your dreams, that's the best thing you could do. It's a beautiful loop, by the way. Did you make it or did you buy it?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, God.
Can I hear that conversation between the two of them?
That you actually pick up on. That is one of the conversations that distracts you.
Yeah.
Do I pick up on that?
You're at the table, so possibly.
24.
Oh yeah. He's all of us with that. He looks at you and is almost beaming with pride. Actually, I did. I made that. I made that out of. Oh well. You might recognize it, and he brings it off the place on the wall and hands it to you. And there are wooden inlays in it that you recognize the wood that is very, very specific from the Frostwood. It is almost like a dead wood with a bluish green or a bluish gray texture to it. Someone gave me a piece of this really neat wood. He doesn't know what it is. You can tell by talking to him, but he says it carved so well, and I wanted to use it for inlays, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. If I was still at home, my parents would have broke it, or my siblings would have broke it, or thrown it away. But thank you for asking.
I assume she recognizes the wood. And just be like, oh, it is truly magnificent. You did such a wonderful job. And she carefully gives it back to him because she doesn't want to break it now because of how important it is to him. And just knowing where the wood came from, she kind of like...
Which he's admitted he's never been there. So, the fact he's actually got his hands on some is kind of
it's very interesting. You could get that wood in this region, but it is truly magnificent, and she will quickly hand it back so she doesn't break it. Knowing her, she'd probably drop it or something. So.
He takes it back, no problem, and he puts it aside. And at this point, he's actually going to he's back over the cooktop and starting to dish some food out and whatnot. But we'll get to that after because we got other people still doing stuff for an hour and a half. So Zakk, you were
Yeah. Just double checking. Did Nils already tell us what was in the mines?
He said they found something down there, but it wasn't like gold or anything like that, and it wasn't an item. But he did say, and he was very clear about it, that the person in charge of that is Bartle. Bartle actually, from what through your conversation you're having with Nils right now, you're finding out Bartle is the actual leader of the entire logging company.
So I'm going to ask him if I'm basically going to try to pry further and go, so did you get your eyes on what exactly it was then?
Roll me a persuasion check.
19, and with my bonus, that's a +5.
Okay.
So
yeah. He tells you. Well, the first thing they discovered was just some strangely cut rock. You know, it was it was out of place. It didn't seem to fit the well. The stones from the well were a certain type of stone, and this was like a block. So when we started digging and uncovering some more blocks, we did kind of find an archway that had some markings on it. We couldn't make it out, but there's a couple of passages. A lot of them were caved in, and most of them still are. But there was another archway which had some other markings on it, which one of my companions here in the company confirmed that it is Elven, an old Elven language, which is strange for being underground. But the Bartle is just kind of, you know, said we're taking it easy, inspecting and you know, uncovering things.
Interesting. You think it might be some kind of like ancient ruins or something?
Yeah, I mean, probably. Obviously, it's old stone and it's under the ground, and I don't know very many elves that go under the ground. So that's what you do, Moxx. You've gone over to the church. And while you're at the church, the gnome is there, the kobold is there. There is a couple of individuals praying inside the church. You do see that the Viridian heart has been taken out of the cart, which is now being housed in the stable with your goats and with the horse that was pulling the cart. So that, you know, everything's there. But you do see that this sack that has the heart in it is sitting center stage, right below the pulpit where, you know, she would give a sermon or what have you. You do see. Sorry, I have to pull it up here. Hopefully, it's not making sure it's not showing on the screen. There we go. Making sure. I hate it when I have to do that. Wow. That is annoying when that happens. Okay, there we go. Pull this up. Oh, there it is. All right, so you do notice some symbols around the room. You see the symbol of a stack of books balancing on top of each other.
Okay.
You can make me a religion check.
$21.
It is a symbol to Brolin, the patron of wisdom, knowledge, reason, science, invention, justice, law, order, and medicine.
Okay.
Okay, I've heard that.
You're not there. Don't forget, Zakk.
No, I'm just. I'm not actually saying it like
Okay.
I'm in there.
All right, just making sure you don't quite know it's there yet. So yeah, you go over there, and because you're new to the area, this this individual, this little gnome, she comes up to you and says, "Greetings. You must be one of the Emerald Legion that have escorted my friends here."
Greetings, milady.
I'm Tenanye.
Greetings, milady Tenanye.
Yeah, welcome. Broline welcomes all. What tales do you have?
Well, I just wanted to say you have really beautiful paintings on your wall. What is it? Is it paintings? Is it drawings?
Actually, there is some paintings here and there on like tapestries that are on the wall. They're not really paintings, but they'd be woven embroideries and so on. The stack of books, though, have been etched and carved into the podium area at the front, and really nicely carved into the wooden podium. But yeah, she's very welcoming.
I'm gonna show up my knowledge a little bit and talk to her about that god and everything I know about that religion.
Is your symbol visible?
What do you mean?
Your holy symbol, which would be, it's like a skull lantern on a chain.
I never thought of it. I guess it's on me, but I'm not showing it off.
You're not clearly, okay, so you're not being obvious about it.
Like, it's on my clothes, but I'm not showing it to like everyone saying, "Hey, look at my symbols." No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Well, you do know that your goddess as well is usually, some people frown upon her. You know, a little bit on the darker side for some people, but that's just.
It's sweet. I don't know what they're talking about.
So you're talking to her about what you know about Broline. And you know, she's more than happy to continue the conversation about Broline, and gathering any new. She's constantly prying at you for more information, more knowledge, you know, and seems genuinely curious with her conversation, with everything she's asking you and talking to you about, where you come from, you know, what do you do. You know, what's the Emerald Legion all about? Like, she's asking all kinds of, and not intrusive questions, but just wanting to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer all her questions from the best that I can. Like, even I don't know what the Emerald Legion is.
Yeah, other than the fact that it's there to protect the rights of individuals like goblins and orcs and.
Yeah, we're a bunch of goblins. Little bit crazy, and we protect some stuff, but I don't know what. Mostly have fun.
Okay. So for the 3 hours that until dinner is served, you're having this conversation back and forth. You do notice that the acolytes are doing a lot of work on that burlap sack, and they've opened it up, and you do see this little mini sapling sitting there. With its root system and these glowing little leaves that are pulsing slightly, and you've seen the pulsing earlier in your trip. It seems to be a little bit more faint right now. You know, you're not sure exactly why, but they're preying around the sapling and focusing on that while you're talking to Tenanye and her things. At the end of said conversation, she says, "Well, it's almost dinner time, but before you go, here, I'd like to give you something as a token of thanks for all you've shared with me."
Oh, well, thank you.
And she hands you a potion.
Oh, okay.
This might come in handy. It'll heal you if something happens. It's a potion of healing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I will give her a rock. She deserves it.
Are you giving her one of your rock collection?
Yeah.
So it's not just a random rock. It's something.
No.
It's clearly been looked after.
This is nice. Here, have this.
It could be a rock, like a basic rock in my rock collection, but I have like a special bond with each and every one of my rocks.
Okay. This will then lead into a conversation about your rocks, just so you know, which is probably going to make you a little bit late for dinner. But she is really curious as to your rock collection and what makes them special. And, you know, you hear from your friend during this actual interaction a couple of times. And the gist of it is I like her. She's all right. So that's the gist of that. So back at the thing, dinner is starting to be served up, and it is, it smells delicious. Not sure what it tastes like yet, but you're given this big bowl of stew of some kind. It's got some root vegetables in it, some herbs that are in it. There's some kind of meat in it, but it does smell really, really good. It's like a light brown color, but fairly thick. And it's served, it brings out chunks of bread, like it's dried from loaves that have been broken off, and everybody's getting a little chunk of this slightly dried bread to go with their stew. And you guys now see pretty much the encampment. There's Moxx is still missing. You do see the acolytes come in. You do see a big burly dwarf come in who smells like smoke and metal. You do see that dwarf come in that you've seen at the tower earlier. There's in total probably almost 60 people crowded in this building, sitting at tables like it was a mess hall, is what it's lined up like. And everybody's coming in and they're getting their bowls and they're sitting down, and conversations are everywhere, and they're friendly conversations, but it's just picture it as it's a bunch of workers who just put in a full day's work, and they're tired, they're dirty, they're hungry, but they're talking about this tree or that tree or this trail they found. One of them's got some blood smeared on him, and he's talking about a deer that, probably closer to an antelope maybe, that he had found in the wood and took it down, and it's out back getting ready for curing. So you're hearing all kinds of conversations. There is one table, as dinner is served, Nils excuses himself from the table you're sitting at, and he goes over to sit with Bartle, the dwarf from earlier, and there is another seat beside them that is empty, but it's not filled yet. Zakk, you want to do something?
Can I stealthily try to overhear the conversation?
At the other table?
Yes.
So you're going to get up and move?
Yes.
Okay, so make me a stealth check, please. And Bang, you want to do something first? Or in conjunction?
I have observant. May I watch their conversation, please?
Yes, you can.
Does it look like the entire village?
Okay, so I rolled a 16.
Kiss here? Pretty close to it. It possibly could be. There might be a few. You know that Moxx is not here, and
Oh man, I'm gonna get.
I got it. I do have to get back to Bang because Bang did go see the blacksmith.
I want to do after that as well.
Okay, so you guys are listening. Sorry, Bang. I forgot you were at the blacksmith shop. I just wanted to. What were you doing for the 3 hours or hour and a half you had left at the blacksmith?
I would come to him and be like, one, I'd like to see your arts because I want to respect your arts. And so basically try to get to know the guy a little bit and see what he does to try and kind of cozy up to him in a way.
Okay.
In a nice way. And then kind of work my way into a conversation of, I heard that you're the one kind of overseeing this building that has, writing in it and stuff. I might not know the language, but I do know some kind of weird language. So, yeah, because she knows Abyssal, so she's like, well, I don't know what the language is down there, but maybe I can help.
You do the blacksmith. He's a big burly dwarf. Like he's probably twice the size of the dwarf you've seen at the tower door. But he's like wide and he's stocky. And he's filthy. He's covered in soot and everything else from work in the forge. And also tending the animals that are there as well. His name is Gundren. He introduced himself as Gundren. And he says, "Well, I'm not really in charge of the mine area, but I've been asked down there a few times to just kind of give an extra set of eyes on my, being a dwarf. We're usually pretty good with stonework. And Bartle, he's the leader of the company, and he's in charge of everything. He didn't have a clue what it was." Other than the fact that one of our companions here said that there was an elven language written on some of the stone, and the stonework itself, it was nicely done, but it definitely wasn't dwarven craftsmanship. It's odd.
Dwarven craftsmanship on stone.
You'd have to ask Bartle about it. Maybe he'll let you go down there and take a peek. Because another set of eyes wouldn't hurt. You never know.
Yeah. I'll ask my group and see if anyone knows Elven too. That might help.
Okay. So you have this conversation that goes on with him, and then you go back to the inn and you're getting your meal and you're being observant and watching everybody. You can make me a perception check for your observant. I believe that's a feat, correct?
Yes, it is a feat.
Okay. All right. So Zakk, what was your perception or your stealth check? Sorry.
I rolled a 16 total.
That one.
Okay. All right. So you think you're being stealthy. If you guys at the table want to try and perceive him, you can roll a perception check, just at your table if that's what you're focused on, to notice that Zakk is gone or where he's gone to.
While this kind of ties into that, but while all this is happening. Is there? You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna take the chance. I'm gonna try to very nonchalantly and as the hubbub really kind of builds, I'm gonna try to slip out of the mess hall.
Okay. So
without being noticed.
So you're trying to leave. So you could make me a stealth check. Shulza, were you trying to perceive what's going on?
I got a 12.
On your perception?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't notice Zakk is gone. Maybe Nedd. What's Nedd's perception or stealth check?
I rolled a 15 for stealth. I'm not concerned with where he is. I'm more concerned.
No, that's fine. I just wanted so Shulza has. You have no clue that two of your party members have gone. You're just kind of engaging with your surroundings. So Moxx, you're still having the conversation. At this point, you are just leaving the church.
Can I invite Tanari to eat with us at the table?
She said, normally I'd like to, but I have a spot waiting for me.
Okay.
But maybe if you stick around, maybe we can have breakfast together or something.
Oh, okay, good idea. See you tomorrow morning.
Well, you'll see me in the mess hall, but let's go. And you just start heading over. So we will, at this point, observe it. What did you roll, Bang, on your observant?
A nat 1.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what? It's because there's people getting up to get seconds and everything else.
Yeah,
you're trying to watch and observe and maybe do a little lip reading type of thing. It's
too interrupted.
Yet you're not actually getting the vibe of a typical bar or tavern. This is almost like a family of misfits that are kind of here. They're eating together. They're sharing stories of the job, and everybody seems to be getting along very, very well. Considering there's a mix of races. There's elves and dwarves and gnomes and halflings and lizardfolk and a bullywug, for crying out loud. You know.
Yeah, it sounds like a nice place.
You get all kinds. So yeah, you don't really have a clue what's going on. Zakk, you think you're being quiet. You get over near that other table, and make me perception to listen.
That's an 18.
Yeah.
Total.
All right. So with an 18, you kind of you notice the you notice Bartle, the dwarf, kind of tugs on the cloak of Nils, the Lizardfolk that's sitting beside him, and they're start at that point they lean in together and they start whispering, and you hear them talking about some kind of a chamber that they've uncovered below, and this is Bartle telling this to Nils, and it looks like it's the chamber that they were looking for. It's a sacrificial chamber, and now it looks like their sacrifices have arrived. That's what you hear. All right, so with that, Nedd, you slip out, and are you intending to slip out down to the mine? Is that your intention?
I'm on a secret 007 stealth mission.
Tenanye does not notice you. You can make me a perception check, Moxx, as you're heading over to the thing to see if you notice him coming out of the inn or out of the canteen.
20.
Oh yeah, but you with a 20, you know he's intentionally being sneaky, and it's Nedd this time, not Zakk. He's leaving the canteen, and it looks like he's kind of headed the long way around and down towards that mine.
Can I follow him and surprise him and be like, "Hey, what you doing?"
Okay, you do know. I mean, you're a cleric, so you're not stupid. You do know that if you leave, you're walking right now with Tenanye towards the canteen. If you do leave to go follow him, you know you're gonna give him away.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
If he's doing this, it's for a purpose.
Yeah, well, if it was Zakk, that might have been a different story. But it's Nedd. I mean, it's not very often that Nedd sneaks off to do something. So, all right.
But
so
I'm still going to look at him and see if someone starts to be suspicious. I want to get their attention.
Okay. Well, at this point, most people look like they're inside the canteen. You do see like another individual off in the distance near the tower in the dark, but I mean he doesn't seem to be paying attention to Nedd at all.
Okay.
So Nedd, you do get down to the entrance to the mine. You do see there is what looks like lantern light in the distance inside. It's very crude. It's not. You've been to mines before. You've seen mines. This is not a miner's mine. This is clearly something that they've just started digging a hole in the ground and shored it up, and now they're exploring.
Yeah, I'm avidly trying to listen for voices or footsteps or anything like that because I know everybody's more or less in the mess tent. So I think it seems to me like now is the best time, while I know where everybody is, more or less, to kind of get in and have a look around if I can, anyways.
Make me a perception check.
Oh, damn, it wasn't a 17, it was a 5.
It's a 5. You hear...
Okay. Is there like multiple sounds or just like one or two?
It sounds like one that you hear, and it's from inside.
I'm gonna stay a good distance away from that and try to kind of circle around wherever that is, getting further into the.
So
mine.
you're going in towards the light, sort of, or you're staying to the outside of the.
But I want to stay out of the light, like get kind of somewhat close to it, but not like if I were to get close to it, I don't want to be able to whoever's in it to be able to see out, not that close.
After you go in, there's a couple lanterns that have been placed and hung at different intervals. You go in about 10 feet, and there's another wooden bracing that's been set up. You go beyond, and you see what looks like the remnants of this well they're talking about, the certain more round stones that you've known that people would pile up to make a well. And then as you move a little further in, you're now about 80 feet underground. And it's now getting a little bit... Sounds like a hammer on stone. That's what it sounds like to you. But not like breaking stone, like a tapping. And as you get further, you see stones on the ground that are square. Bricks of a kind, or blocks. And they're nothing like you've seen before. You've seen all kinds of mines. You've seen dwarven mines. You've seen goblin mines, and so on. These stones are perfect and smooth.
Are there any like shards of a stone? Like, is it?
Yeah, there looks like there's spots where some have crumbled. There's spots where you see one of them that's been broken with a little piece off, and there's a small sliver of the piece. But again, it's really smooth and finished on the one side, but then it's broken. Looks like somebody hit it or struck it and it's split.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those lying around.
I'd like to get as close as I can to this chipping noise without being seen. But how do I do that? I want to try to get as close as I can to the chipping noise. Just to see very closely what it is.
Well, there's a couple of offshoot tunnels here and there, and some of them do have lights farther in the distance. Some you can see, you do come across dead ends where you see collapses of stone. But the stonework is now all around you of these particular stones.
Is it terribly confusing down here?
Not really. It does seem like you're being drawn towards this sound is where you're focusing on, but it's almost a straight line from when you entered. So where they
mark around to find a path back.
Yeah, this is clearly now you're more in a hallway than a mine. Is what this looks like, with even some of that finished stone above you. And you get to a spot where it kind of... There's a little bit of a rubble collapse on the one wall, so you can kind of see beyond. And you see an individual, a very large, burly individual. Looks like a minotaur, to be honest, with horns on its head, with a stone hammer, like a hammer, and it's chiseling away at an archway, but not chiseling the stone itself, but chiseling away some of the other crap that's formed over the years. And you can see these markings around this particular archway very, very clearly. It looks like he's been clearing those markings off.
Okay, I don't speak Elvish, so I have no idea what they are. But
yeah, they're clearly they're nothing that you've seen before. Actually, you guys did see the Elven language before on your trip when you were traveling up. You did notice that it looks like similar writing.
I don't know
what it is, but
what it says at all. So I don't even begin to know where to start. I'll just take a little sliver of the rock, the really paved kind of smooth rock, and pocket it.
Okay.
I don't want to get too far past the Minotaur. That's bad news.
Okay. Do you want to head back?
I'm in trouble in myself. I'm in trouble. I'm gonna back up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take off and head back to the mess tent.
Yep. So you head back, and you're at the table, and you guys are all kind of conversing and doing your thing. Moxx arrives with a female gnome. The two of them are together, and they seem very chummy. However, the female gnome goes and sits at the table with Nils and Bartle. So there's now three of them at this head table at the mess hall. So that's what you've noticed. And Moxx, there's a table where all your companions are sitting eating. You're brought out a bowl of stew, really hearty stew. And by the way, for those of you that are eating it, it tastes phenomenal. Like really, really well made. You're still not sure what the meat is, but...
Hey, is that oh dude, is that the Bollywog playing the lute?
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. So you are back at the inn. Your dinner goes over. I know there's things that all of you have found out. This is probably not the best place to share everything that you have learned. So, you know, dinner's over. After dinner, the Bullywug gets his loot down, and he starts playing some songs. As people start to drink after they've eaten, some people leave and retire to go back to their bunkhouse and call it a night. Some people stick it around and drink, especially the dwarf. There's a couple of dwarves here, Bartle being one. They had table. They're all still here. They're keeping to themselves. It seems to be, now that dinner's over, there's certain groups that are gathering together a little bit closer. Maybe now the cliques, the friends that are a little closer than others, now they sit together to drink rather than just eat dinner. So yeah, I mean, people are doing their thing. And out of the songs that the Bullywug sings, 2 of them are about dragons. One is about the dragon named Twig, who has come to the rescue of the unfortunate folk that humans trample on. And through the Viridian Order is rescuing all of them one by one and raising them up to a level equal to humans, which is, you know, and he sings it with pride. And he's talking about this majestic beast that is massive, that, you know, they could probably eat 100, and the way he says 100 bullywugs in one swallow. You know, the way he's talking about it. So, but he's talking about it with reverence, or singing about it. And the other dragon song he sings about is of this massive purple colored dragon that scales shimmer and sparkle in the moonlight, and that it was known in an area that is far to the west of here, and it is known as the Town Killer.
I'm telling you guys, one day I'm gonna ride a dragon.
Maybe not the one that's the Town Killer. Just saying.
Oh, the song he sings goes from like a very energetic, violent type song to very melancholy and death and destruction and no survivors. You know,
Definitely don't want to mess with that one.
so that, I mean, that's the kind of the tale you're getting out of that dragon. And
Never heard of a purple one now.
Well, it's purple. It's my favorite color.
Does
So
he
it's my
mention the
favorite
name
dragon.
with the, does he mention the name with the purple dragon?
make me a perception check.
Can
I roll that too?
Yeah.
16.
You think you did, but you can't quite make out what it was.
Yeah, I rolled a 14 myself, so it probably has it around the same time.
You're pretty sure he did mention the name, but it was just it because of the melody and everything else.
Yeah, sure.
It was kind of hard to pick up.
Sure.
But I'm assuming you will be talking to him later, maybe asking him what the name of the dragon was.
Yeah, I can try and watch his lips and find out the name.
Okay, so we are at this point 3 minutes after 9. So we are at that point. As the night winds down and you retire to your rooms, is there any last things you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves before we call it quits for tonight's session?
I'm actually going to try to see if I can pull Shulza away.
Have a private conversation.
As stealthily as possible as well.
Well, as I said, this is when you guys are retiring to your rooms. There's nobody else staying in this inn other than the Bullywug, and his room is downstairs.
Oh, do I notice Nedd too?
Yeah, Ned's there. Like, you guys are...
Yeah, I assume we're all there.
I'm grabbing
Basically,
Shulza and Nedd.
Zakk, just so you know, Shulza has a room of her own. The 5 of you are bunking together in a room. There's 2 rooms upstairs.
My goal is basically to grab Shulza and Nedd before they get to the rooms.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Basically in the hallway. Okay.
And as calmly as I try to do, even though I'm a little hyped up and panicked, I go, I think we should get out of here.
Why?
I was listening in on Nils and the other guy, and they were talking about having sacrifices ready for what was going on in that mine. I think they're gonna sacrifice us to some kind of monstrosity down there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should jump to any conclusions yet, but I mean, it is a bit worrisome. I won't lie. What do you think, Shulza?
You guys can make me, Nedd and Shulza can make me an insight check.
Inciting Zakk.
Yep.
6.
Yeah, you. Seems like Nat 20.
Ooh.
Zakk is scared shitless. He's being sincere. Like whatever he thinks he heard it.
Yeah, Shulza's never actually seen Zakk, so
He's focused.
actually, like, and she'd asked, "What exactly did they say?"
Okay.
Make me an intelligence check, Zakk.
Here, Jack, what exactly did they say? Word for word here. We want syllables.
Come on, Zakk.
That would be okay. 14.
14. What you're able to share with Shulza is we found what we've been looking for.
Okay.
The room for sacrifices. Our sacrifices are now here.
Okay. They said they found the room they were looking for. They found the sacrifices, and they're ready to do the sacrifice.
What? Yeah, see, that's. I mean, I think we just need to find out more information about it. I mean,
I'm
not saying you're wrong.
In my personal opinion, if you stick around when crap like this comes around, you end up being someone's dead object.
So with that, you guys are standing outside the rooms. Your Moxx and Bang have gone into the room and started getting ready for bed and whatever. You guys have this conversation in the hallway, and we're gonna call it a night right there and figure out what we're gonna do next go round. So I'm gonna just quickly go around the table so we can talk about who we are. So we're gonna start off with Bang. Let everybody know who you are and where they can find you.
Well, my name's Naomi Beers, and I am on most socials, at least on it. I'm mostly active on Discord as Jag_Crystal. I play here as Bang, and I am over on the Minecraft New Beginnings as Dag7.
And Nedd.
You can find me on Twitter at I am Theatricus, on YouTube and Discord at that D&D guy. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Ines.
Hey everyone, I am Ines, and you can find me mostly on Twitch on my personal channel, where I will be playing this Thursday probably Sea of Thieves.
Nice. And she's also wielding the ban hammer. Just so you guys know, in the Twitch chat, she's got the ban hammer. If you say something inappropriate, she's watching you.
I'm watching you.
Shulza?
Hi, I'm Mercy. You can find me everywhere at Zakk163, and I just want to say Happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah. It's Pride Month. Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically it. Just find me everywhere at Zakk163.
Yeah, and yeah, she's serious. She's pretty much everywhere in a lot of streams and every. Yeah, she's all over the place, almost as much as Lauren Obo. Almost.
I love Lauren. Lauren's great.
Lauren's awesome. And Zakk.
Well, on Twitter you can see me at Black Lantern Ace, and on the Discord you can see me as the RuneScar DM.
Okay. And I'm Deacon Blues, and I run Deacon's Table. You can find me on the Discord pretty much, well, as often as I can be. We do multiple streams a week. Tuesdays, of course, we all know and love our flagship here of Emerald Legion and our crazy Goblin friends. Yeah, and there is merchandise. Check out our Teespring store if you'd like to see what we have available. There's some T-shirts and stuff like that, which would really help support. You can also check out our, the Discord and our Ko-Fi for support that way. The other streams we got going on, we will be doing a Wednesday stream again coming up at some point. We're just not sure yet. Thursday, we have Minecraft New Beginnings, where there's 6 of us as part of a much larger community on the VCraft SMP as we explore and build and get into all kinds of fun. And usually, we end up killing Black Lantern Ace a couple of times per episode. And then Fridays, we had Going Dark, which is now at the end of the first season. So it is on hiatus. Season 2 will be returning probably in September. Is what we're looking at. And then Mondays, right now, myself and Cryosphere Gaming are working on switching from modded Minecraft to a RuneScape stream, which we will be opening up to other members of our Deacon Stable community to join us if they want to play some RuneScape with us, which is, again, a multiplayer MMO, which is a lot of fun, and, things like that. So, yeah, again, thank you all for joining us and watching our merry band of goblins and the brave orc leader that tries to keep them in line the best that she can. But in the meantime, guys, I wish everybody well. Again, yes, I think Sakura said it best of all. Happy Pride Month. Wishing everybody a wonderful time out there. And if you are, of course, be kind to one another always, no matter who you are. And if you're going to play, make sure you are playing safe. But for now, guys, that's it for this week. And we will see you all next Tuesday or in one of our other streams if you care to join us. Bye for now, guys.